What's up, everyone? I hold in my hands the carbon fiber faced double black diamond 14 millimeters. Can a good paddle get better? Well, let's find out. Okay, let me address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the delamination problem. Now, a lot of these thermoformed paddles are having this problem, and what delamination is when the face actually comes unadhered to the polypropylene core. And what this causes is a springboard effect, a trampoline effect. So the paddle is actually hitting the ball faster and harder than it is supposed to. So this is what people got upset with, and then there were even pros that were actually hitting with lacrosse balls trying to delaminate their paddle so they could get an extra advantage. This is not a problem with the manufacturers. This is a problem with players trying to take advantage and get an edge on the competition. Now, what I can say with these paddles and the new ones coming from 6.0, they had less than a 5% defect rate, and now that's down to nothing because what they've done is they've double bonded the face to the polypropylene core, and they've done extra reinforcements on the handle, on the paddle itself. Not going to tell us exactly how they did it because they don't want to give away their secrets. I don't blame them. But what I can tell you is I'm about 24 hours in with this paddle, and I am not having any problems with it. I think they've actually fixed their problem. One thing to note with any kind of polypropylene paddle is to not leave them in your car, especially if you're in sub-zero temperatures, any kind of freezing temperatures. You do not want to leave this paddle in freezing cold temperatures, or any pickleball paddle for that matter, because polypropylene becomes very brittle. Even playing in snow, you could ruin your paddle if you play in those cold temperatures, especially playing with a rock hard Dura that's going to crack on you anyway. You might as well just go hit rocks in your backyard. One other thing to note about these thermoform paddles is because of their construction and because of the way that they're reinforced around the edges with the foam, making the sweet spot bigger, a lot of these do not need lead tape. Just a note on any pickleball paddle, when you add tape to it, that is going to add more force, more plow through, and that's going to shorten the lifespan of your paddle. So not only the thermoformed ones, so I would always recommend playing a paddle stock before you want to add any weight to it. I know that a lot of times we want to have our paddle at a certain weight. What I would recommend is that you look at the way that you play and look at where you're going to weight the paddle. But you know what? If you got to play an 8.5 paddle and the paddle is 7.7, you know, put the weight the way you like to play it. But just be warned that this is going to shorten the lifespan of your paddle. But overall, I love what they've done with this paddle. This 14 millimeter is hot. It's got great touch, great feel. Let's get into the specs, shall we? It has the 5.3 inch handle, so very comfortable for two-handed backhands. It's 16.3 inches long, has the aerodynamic shape where the head is a little bit bigger than the bottom part of this paddle. Definitely you can feel this when rolling the balls. I love hitting roll shots with this paddle. Also, this paddle is a little bit different than its other competition. This paddle has a carbon fiber face that goes all the way down to the bottom of the handle. What this does is overlap. It has a carbon overlay down here and a carbon overlay up here, which overlaps the handle, which keeps from breakage. Also, it still has the thermoformed edge. So far as I'm concerned, this is a solid paddle. Now, it comes in a little bit lighter at 7.7 to 7.8 ounces. So it's a little bit lighter paddle, so you might want to add some lead weight to it. But I played this stock just so I could get familiar with it and see what its characteristics were. So, compared to the 16 millimeter, I gotta say, my hands are faster with this paddle. I love hands battles at the net with this. My hands are definitely faster. I could notice a difference. And usually when you go to a 14 millimeter paddle, you lose a little bit of control. But because of the thermoformed edge and the way that they do the carbon fiber face, I did not feel like I lost any control with this paddle. In fact, I gained a little bit of pop. So for those that like control paddles, the 16 millimeter is one of the best control paddles. I have 9 different paddles that I play in my bag. I keep reaching and grabbing these paddles. I absolutely love the design of this. I absolutely love the way this paddle performs. What I found is even with the lighter paddle, the resets and the third shot drops, any of the touch shots, this paddle still performs very well. But what you gain here with a 14 millimeter is a little bit more plow through, a little bit more pop off the paddle face, so you can then put the ball away. I found that my drives were super fast. super powerful, and that I could really put the ball away when the ball got lifted anything above my shoulders. It was going bye-bye. Nobody was getting that ball back. This paddle has one of the larger sweet spots. I found that even in the dink battles, in dinking, I felt like I could put roll shots on just about everything, and I was never a traditional roll shot dinker. But now with this paddle, I love trying to do movement with the ball. I really am trying, especially since I switched to the Eastern forehand grip. I find that this paddle here is phenomenal with the roll shots. I love the way that the Torway carbon fiber grabs the ball. And you know what the cool thing about these paddles are? It takes a couple weeks to break these in. As they break in and the carbon fiber settles, they actually start grabbing better, and you can actually maneuver the ball better. You can see the ball bend in the air on the different shots that you hit. As far as the handle, I love the handle shape. I love the way the feeling of this. It's really easy to do an Eastern grip, a continental grip. You can really feel the bevels on it. The only negative thing I would say about this paddle is I don't like the leather grip. I personally like the Wilson over grip, so I always take off the leather grips because I got very sweaty hands. I know you didn't want to know that. I got very sweaty hands, and the leather grips for me don't do a good job for me to keep the handles from getting damp. So I always put the Wilson over grip on these guys. But other than that, I can't find anything negative to say about this paddle. This is one of my favorite paddles to play now. I keep reaching for it in my bag. So I love this paddle. Check them out. See the discounts in the description below. But if you don't want this model, you might want to check out the review I did on the 16 millimeter. It's okay. They're both amazing paddles. You got the cherry blossom and you got the double bonded on that one as well. Yeah, you can go there. Right there. Click it.